This video will take you through the process of marking your class as active or inactive, as the situation requires. In order for your class to be visible to students, it has to be marked as an active course. Inactive courses are those that are still stored. Everything in an inactive class is accessible by you, but it won't be visible to any of the students enrolled in your class. So, it's always a good idea at the start of a school year to make sure that the classes you need to be active are marked active, and any old classes are marked inactive. Here, for example, you'll notice that I have an AP Biology class that I've marked for the year 2016 to 17. This year, that's the current school year, and so I want that to be active. It is under my Active tab, as I notice here in the upper left-hand corner. That's good, I'll keep it there. Down below, 2 links down, I see that I have Biology from 2015 to 16. That's now a year old, and I don't want this class to be visible to my students. Still, if I ever teach biology again, I'd really like to have access to all the work that I put into this Haiku page. So I don't want to delete this class. Let me emphasize, I don't want to hit this delete button indicated by a trash can icon on the far right. Instead, I just want to mark this inactive so that students can't access it, and it kind of clears up my active page as well, give me a little bit more room to see. So, on the drop-down menu that says Manage Class for the outdated course, a single click reveals a new menu. The second option down is Make Inactive. It's got a little icon of a light bulb there. I'm going to click on Make Inactive. It'll ask me if I'm really sure I want to do this, and I am. And now you'll notice that my active list is 1 class shorter. Let me check out my inactive classes and see if it made it there. Now, I don't actually see that biology class listed here, but there's a reason for that. Your inactive classes are sorted by school year. You'll notice that the 2016 to 2017 school year is what's selected right now. So that's what I'm seeing in this class list, are just the inactive classes from this current year. When I use the drop-down menu and I go to 2015 to 2016, it'll change what I see, and sure enough, here at the very bottom, I see the class that I just marked inactive. That's biology from 2015 to 16. From this menu, again, I have the option to delete the class, but as I mentioned, I'd really like to save all of the work that I put into that class, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to let it sit in my inactive folder. It's not hurting anybody there, and it's not really even taking up much screen space for me because in the 2016 to 17 school year, I don't even have to look at it, and I rarely visit my inactive classes tab during the school year. I spend all of my time working on my active classes. Now, let's say you have an inactive class that you'd like to make active. This AP Psychology section, for example, is something I'd like to have access to during the current school year. To make it active, I'll click on the drop-down menu to the right, and you'll notice, again, the second option down there is Make Active. You'll notice that now the icon is a lighted light bulb. I'll click on Make Active. Notice it'll ask me, when do you want this class to be active for? Do you want it to be active forever, or do you want to set an end date? That's really up to you. I like to keep my classes active forever, but this is always something that you can change later on if you decide you'd really like to just set an automatic inactive date for this class. You can always feel free to make that the end of the semester or the end of the school year, as you see fit. You also get to decide who the class will be visible to. My preference is to make the class visible only to the people in my roster, but you also have some other options. You can make it accessible only to the people at Marymount High School. You can make it accessible to anyone who has a Marymount High School email, or you can make it accessible to anyone on the web. I would be cautious using this last option because you don't necessarily want anyone with the internet to be able to access your private course materials, especially if you're posting student work. But again, this is up to you and your judgment. I'll go ahead and save. You notice that that AP Psychology class disappeared from my inactive list, and now on my active list, I see it listed.